Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your co-host here with my good buddy, Blake Sievers. What's up, homie?
Good afternoon. I love the purple shirt there you got sporting.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a good plug for our YouTube channel, isn't it? Right off the bat. Usually we wait a little while.
That's right. What other things we have plugged today?
Play of the week, play of the month, play of the week. We got that kind of kicked off goal of the week in the high school season, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a super fun competition for us. I don't know, just kind of neat thing. I mean, our finals, our final sort of competition got a ton of views. I think it was really cool for the players. So we're hoping that we can kind of expand that this fall. But we're going to plays of the month, so we don't exclude any certain types of excellence.
Yeah, we had some people chirping about the goalkeepers. No saves of the week. We had a couple playmakers saying, "Hey, I had a great little slot in the pass in here." Couple big nasty defenders were saying, "Hey, I had a goal-saving tackle," so we've expanded it.
Yeah, and so we're kind of opening it up to all college players, high school players, club players, rec players, adult players. We were even talking that Sunday league. We might need to get the drone out so that Charlie Bales can get some highlights.
I love it.
Yeah, that's definitely what the highlight is. Oh yeah, we just got back from a fun little trip, didn't we, Siebes?
Yeah, LAFC, MLS All-Star week, I suppose.
Among the stars, where we belong, right, Siebes?
That's right. We thought so anyways for a short time.
Yeah, after about, I don't know how many beers. But yeah, super fun time hanging out with our pals at Musco. Really got to see some cool stuff. Slide into the DMs, we'll tell you all about it. Maybe we'll have to do something about to recap that at some point. And then what else, Siebes?
We're starting the fall season. It's basically kicking off now. Kind of fans in stands, parents on the sidelines, no masks, getting back to normal a little bit on the soccer field and off it a little bit at least.
That's right. Well, in Soccer Talk, we know we love a segue, and you're an expert of the segue. So that kind of leads right into today's feature, game of the week, Western Illinois versus Drake on the men's side. First college soccer game we've seen since sitting on the hill in Ames. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been the Iowa State Baylor women's game. So yeah, that was a while ago. But no, it was we saw a bunch of men's games. It was interesting to compare and contrast the two different environments, I guess. First part, in the Midwest, I'm sure you guys did up at Brown, but there was always those quote midweek, middle of the afternoon games that were very difficult to get up for because there's no crowd. It's hot. You're usually missing class. So it's difficult.
Yeah, totally. I guess it's funny that we're contrasting the the venues and sort of the atmosphere, because I think in college, we generally had, our stadium was on campus. So unless we were traveling somewhere where there was no that was not really worth a darn, we usually had fans in our games. But when I would play PDL, I was going and playing in front of 10 people a lot. So it's funny when you say that. You got the luxury of playing in front of the beautiful Des Moines Menace crowd here that has always been supportive. And this last summer, we were treated to a lot of action.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting you say, because I guess everybody's experience is a little different, and ours kind of were opposites of each other almost.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of it just has to do with your stadium being off campus at Drake, because there were no students there, or there were very few students there watching the game. You said on the box score, it said there were 98 people there. That must have included the entire, anybody that walked through the gates at any point throughout that 90 minutes. Maybe that qualifies. It didn't seem like there were very many people.
Oh, well, that was definitely included the teams and the referees. Not to joke, but they were, honestly, we counted it. There weren't more than 20 spectators in the stands, which
that was right at the beginning of the game.
So it's difficult for a Monday afternoon again, right? Students are in class. I think that's what this stadium, the on-campus stadium, will bring, hopefully, to the program, is there's no excuse for students not to get out there now.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I'm sure that travel probably plays into it for Western Illinois coming in from Macomb. But I think even if it was in the evening, you might have seen just more, casual soccer fans coming out to check it out. But I mean, for us, we're lucky that we're able to be a little bit flexible during the day. But if you're not, I mean, nobody's going to go to a 3 o'clock game. It needs to be at 6, 7, something like that.
Well, yeah, and it's training. Fall season for the youth have started, so even if it's at 7 o'clock, you're gonna miss kind of quite a few of the kids as well. So
I guess a little bit of lose. But anyway, it would be nice to see more people there, especially knowing that it's a pretty quality, it's as high quality as you're going to see here in the Des Moines area until the men take the field again. So,
Grandview may have.
Oh yeah,
something to say about that. We know.
Fair enough. So let's talk a little bit about the game, though. I mean, this is the first game of 2021 that we have seen, but these are players that a lot of times their last competitive game would have been in, say, late October, early November of 2019. So we're talking almost.
Well, they played the spring season, right?
Yeah, but truly competitive. I think that spring season always came with a little bit of an asterisk.
But last year, COVID season, they had like a conference only, didn't they?
Right. I'm just saying, this is like the first time they've had the full season that are full competitive matches. They start to count again, because a lot of guys got additional eligibility out of it. I mean, so for example, we got to see Drake play, and some of their best players I thought were, or a couple were Juan Louis and Eric Feiner. Both those guys are, essentially like 5th-year seniors, essentially.
Yeah, and I would throw that Ishii boy in there.
Yeah, he was great.
And Wilhelms, he was quality there in midfield. But yeah, which kind of shows, right? Those guys should hopefully be the better players as they're a year older, more of an adult. Yeah,
for sure. It's just interesting, to get back out there and see it again. So I would guess for them there were, it probably felt pretty weird. But I know we didn't interview anybody, so I guess we couldn't say that for sure.
Yeah, so we did just real quick just talk about the game. So yeah, we got there. One of the things, Gareth Smith, you got to sort out. We got to get rosters because
if it's not Gareth, it's the
SID
department.
Team. Yeah, somebody's got to get a roster out there, and because it was challenging and difficult. So
for us, it's one thing. We'll kind of figure it out, sort through it. But think about if you were there as a parent or maybe just trying to go check out a game, you're trying to get a feel for who's who. I think that's a really important piece.
I think also they used to have the schedule on there as well. So you could see, especially later in the season, right, the common opponents who, team A played, how they did, especially once you get in the conference season. So I'll get off my soapbox there, but it's not the first time we've been to a game that there have not been programs, a college game. So college programs get that sorted out for the neutral fans that don't. Just trying to help grow the game a little bit.
Or at least have a QR code that you can scan when you walk in the door.
Yeah. So, I think the first thing we noticed was the surface, right? It was 83 degrees, sunny. It was a warm one. Field was great shape, but then you started seeing the guys in warm-ups a little bit, and you could overhear a little bit of chatter, especially from the Western Illinois boys, that the ball, the grass was thick. It was wet. So the ball, did not move. There was a lot of under-hit passes in the warm-up, and then it kind of correlated into the first 10, 15 minutes, which was just interesting.
Yeah, and so I think you could wonder whether or not to blame some of those exchanges on the conditions, or is it the fact that they hadn't necessarily played a quote competitive match that's actually that are going to count towards their eligibility. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you're looking at it, how these boys are looking at it. We're not entirely sure, but it was a little sloppy to start. We weren't seeing a lot of connected passes. We were seeing a lot of kind of long balls that were, meant to test the back four. I think that was where we saw our first breakthrough, despite the lack of cohesiveness to the play there at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to talk about until the goal in the 19th minute, I think. But kind of a ball played forward. Ishii, as they call him, got this from Drake, got the second ball. Good little through ball in, and Juan Louis, calm, cool, poised finish.
Yeah, and I think the goalkeeper kind of got stuck in between a little bit. because the quality of the ball through from Ishii and Juan made no mistake.
Yeah, and around that time, I mean, Western Illinois had. It's funny, we talked about this with their coach, Dr. Eric Johnson, at halftime. They had probably 5 to 6 free kicks in the first 30 minutes. In the final third, that went straight to the goalkeeper. So it's got to be super frustrating on their part to make it dangerous. I think the goalkeeper, Jared Brown, I think is that his name, came out and punched one, which is quality. The other 4 or 5, though, he just collected like a sack of flour. They didn't challenge him or anything. So I think that's got to be a bit frustrating on the Leatherneck side.
Yeah, that's one of those things. You just wonder again, like, is it lack of focus? Is it just got off the bus? Just 20 years old and whatever. Who knows? But that was definitely the difference in that first half. Because I don't recall any other real clear-cut chances being generated from on the Drake end.
No, I think I would agree. It was kind of like a blah first half.
Yeah, other than that, and the goal is nice.
Yeah, both teams were fairly organized defensively, which probably so give them credit there. That's probably why it made it blah, because Western couldn't find that last pass, and Drake kind of tried to isolate Juan out there on the right, which is interesting, right? And then he scored the goal from kind of the left side, middle of the field there. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so check out our Insta and our social media channels. If you want to see some of our halftime chats, we had a good conversation with both Gareth Smith for Drake and the doctor, Eric Johnson, over there at Western Illinois.
Thanks to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. They're always very generous with their time, especially on the sideline when they're pretty focused on getting their boys out there to turn things around. And so we didn't really get to part of our media requirements were to hit the doctor on the front end immediately upon the whistle blowing at halftime, so he could get us out of the way and then go focus on his team. So I don't know. We didn't really get to see like what how they gathered, what the halftime talk looked like. But we got to view the Drake boys and their staff sort of. I don't think we could really hear that much, but we see they were definitely talking tactics. There were a lot of individual sort of like coach-player meetings that kind of were happening where they were giving a player a little bit of information here and there. But it seemed like Drake was in good spirits at half.
Yeah, I mean, up 1-0, right? First game at home, coming off a loss, and really not allowing Western to, like you just mentioned a few minutes ago, create a real good chance. I think they were happy. I think that part of that, Gareth, a few games we've been to, he kind of does that. What'd you call it? The player coach kind of one-on-one interaction for like 30 seconds or something. I mean, he seemed to have done that for a few years now. And I think is also trying to figure out some of the boys as well. Yeah, there's a lot of older guys. But that Corey Pitlick, I think he played a little bit. He's a redshirt freshman. So just trying to tie those loose ends up there as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that a lot of these guys is some of their first, truly competitive time playing under Gareth and Kyle. And I noticed Kyle Smith also, like they were sort of sharing those 1v1 duties. So I thought that, that's always nice when you see a staff that is involved. So I guess,
one real quick, Ben, just one boy for Western. I thought in the first 5 minutes, I thought he was going to run rampant on everybody. It was number 11, Arian Marang. Was unbelievable. Literally the first 5 minutes, I was like, holy cow, this is going to be trouble for Drake. And then unfortunately he just got disappeared a little bit, but he was first 5 minutes. He would have played like that. He'd be on the Herman watch list because he was unbelievable.
Yeah. We also, in conversation with one of our favorite Leathernecks of all time, Charlie Bales, he made the comment to me today that they were missing a couple of what he would consider their better, more experienced players, and felt like that really could have been the difference when it was all said and done. That might be spoken like a true Leatherneck, but it also, who knows? Because I think in that second half, what we saw from Drake was, they eventually, I think they sort of resigned themselves to managing the game and seeing it out. And I don't know, that wasn't the case for the first 15, 20, 30 minutes necessarily, but I think once they, once he got into that 70th plus minute, they started going, okay, let's shut her down. But we didn't see Western really kick it into gear to change things.
Yeah, I mean, Western clearly had more of the ball and more. I wouldn't more of the quote better chances there in the second half, especially towards the last half of that. But I think Drake was like, hey, let's have some magic out of Western to beat us. And, the goalkeeper, Brown, made a couple of decent saves for Drake, but they're, and Western again had their foot on the gas, but I think Drake was content with, hey, it's hot out. It's the 90th, 70th minute or whatnot. And
I didn't see a ton of subs going in and out of the game, right? And maybe you're looking at the box score, and maybe I wasn't paying as close of attention. You're going to blow me up here.
Yeah, I would take those comment because Drake had about 10 subs throughout the game.
10 different substitutions or
10 different players played. So 21 players played. Okay,
I'll buy that. But I was saying towards the end of the game, they weren't like making a lot of stoppages to sub. But I was going to say I thought they were managing the game really well. Like every once in a while, somebody would pull up with a cramp. They did really well to take the ball to the corner and just kind of hold it up and just take a little bit more air out of the game. And that last 20 minutes, I think from a fan's perspective, and there are times like, you see Juan Luis like got somebody exposed 1v1 out wide and you're like, just skin him, go to goal, make it 2-0 and just finish it off. But instead the boys showed discipline and they did really well, I thought, as a whole, to really shut the game down. I mean, because again, from a coaching perspective, I'm going like, wow, that was decent. But from a player's perspective or like a fan's perspective, I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, we were talking about that, right? And I mean, we played with that boy a few years ago, and like seeing him mature. I mean,
he's good.
3 years or since I've seen him play, but it was like, I think we just played pickup with him one day. It's like, man, this kid is quality, really good. And then you see him isolated there, 1 against 2 or 3 with the last like 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. Or like, oh, he's going to go to goal. No, he's disciplined and
holds it up, wins the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe keeps possession, whatever. Same with Feiner. I thought he did a really good job of like playing like a leader, making good decisions, working well with his teammates. And then, gosh, I mean, I don't think we can't say enough about Eastveld. Is it Eastveld Wilhelm? Is that?
Nobody probably knows. That's why they call him Ishi. It's easy,
fair
right?
enough. Number 8, he was quality. He was really the thing that was making it tick. Had the assist on the goal, but was kind of everywhere, picking the ball up. Leading the attack for Drake.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted the ball all the time, right? Which,
yeah,
again, hopefully he should, as he's kind of one of the older guys. But
yeah, he'd go get it, but then he would also he'd go get it from his teammates, but he'd also go get it like in 50-50 balls. He'd go win it off somebody. He always wanted it.
It's interesting. So he's DePaul transfer, Big East all freshman team, and then came over after for his junior year, and then senior year. So I don't know if it's the second or third. 2020 to 21. So I don't know how they do that, but all conference last year, which clearly is deserving just from the 90 minutes we saw out of him.
Yep. What else, Siebes? I mean, I think
where do they go from here?
Yeah, I mean, so 1-1 to start the year. Those are 2 non-conference games that put him at 1-1, right? So
yeah, but we're talking Drake. Yep.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I was just going to say, I think for Drake, I mean, I've even speaking to Charlie Bales about for Western, the only way that a lot of these guys are getting themselves in the tournament is to win their conference tournament, right? Or win their conference tournament. So, I think that you're just using these games to figure out your best formula. Make sure like the example of learn how to kill a game off seems like they get it. But if they had maybe made some decisions where they didn't do that, this would be an opportunity to teach the boys that. I'm sure there are going to be other lessons that the staff takes and hopes to apply to the rest of their season.
Yeah. So Drake coming up this weekend, actually, September 3rd. That's Friday. They play UNO. So Bob Warming back, making his return to Cownie.
Ooh, a game at home on Friday.
Yeah.
Very good.
So it's not, I don't think he loves that place, but hopefully the Dogs can come out on top there. And then Western, actually Friday night is what turns around and plays Friday night again. Friday, Sunday, that lovely Friday night, Sunday afternoon doubleheader.
Woof.
But they play Uipui on Friday and then Fort Wayne. So I would hope they're looking to get 6 points or 2 wins out of those 2 games.
Yeah. And to be fair, I did think Western was a good side. And, we should give a shout out to the Iowan on their squad, Luke DeBall. I don't know that he got any minutes though.
Luke DeBall?
Yeah. Funny to watch. I probably just foot in mouth again.
Yeah, he started bracket.
I was
He
supposed
had
to pay
2 shots. Started.
All right. Well, he was quality.
And then they had another boy from the Menace, I believe.
Paul. That was your boy's
yeah,
favorite.
Yeah, he
favorite
actually
player.
recognized him, didn't he? So yeah, that the season is a youngin, but those 2 programs, I would say that they have nowhere. Neither one really has a lot of. They both have a lot of ways to improve and keep going.
Yeah, I think for the local Drake boys, I would say that one of their, I guess, probably better starts that I remember. At least I don't remember them winning their first home game of the year in a while. So let's hope that they ride it and keep it going.
So now, what do? We do an outro here to like plug our social media channels?
We should, yeah. So in case you're wondering, we're still we're ever trying to improve the quality of our podcast, and so now we have we're going into a full form. No stops and starts, or less stops and starts. So this would be our outro segment. We're going to talk about the things that are going on the other end.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We got some exciting stuff coming up. We're sorting out our games of the week. Got a couple cool legends or podcasts, individuals coming up. We got some free clinics that are going to be starting again. And we got a couple mini pitches we're going to be hopefully be painted here in the next 30 days.
And potentially announcing some as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you, like Blake said, follow us on social media, subscribe to the podcast, like the podcast, rate the podcast.
YouTube, where I forgot.
Yeah. Hit us up on YouTube. Our subscribers are growing exponentially. So, get in on the floor here. Don't be late to the party.
And supporters club, $20, get you a scarf, pint glass, coasters, sticker, magnet. We got a few left, and had a few more sent up at our last golf outing. So get on there.
Ooh, that reminds me, we got to get on that the swag for the 2022 swag, don't we, Siebes?
We do.
Stay tuned. We'll see you guys next week.